What if I told you that according to a recent study by Monmouth University, 34% of US citizens would move abroad if they had the means? Ever felt that way? In fact, they're even calling it the new American dream. Imagine that. And maybe you've thought about it too, about what it would take to live and work from anywhere without being tied to one location. Today, we're going to talk about the incredible benefits of becoming a digital nomad. And by the end of this video, you'll see why the dream you have is more within your reach than you even imagined. But first, let me introduce myself. Hi there, I'm Marcia Hilton and also known as Marcia Unbound. And I help Black women monetize their skills to start living their dream lives abroad. I started my digital nomad journey back in 2015, late 2015, early 2016. And by 2017, 2018, I was traveling to a new country every 4 to 6 weeks. Now, I kept a home in the United States at the time, so I'd fly back between destinations. It was just a lot of movement, but I absolutely loved it. And during that time, I primarily offered life and business coaching to clients within the US. And so I was doing all this while exploring the world, while bouncing around the globe. I'm currently back in the US. I'm selling my last piece of real estate. As you can see, from the empty space behind me, I have sold everything, my car, and I'm talking about a car I really liked, a little four-seater convertible Mercedes-Benz with all the bells and whistles. It's the car of all the cars I've owned, it's the car I liked the best, but that's gone. Clothes, and I had a good wardrobe, lots of cool stuff, some costly, some not so costly, some name brand, some no name brand. A mix of everything that I liked and could afford was in that closet. Shoes, purses, all that. Sold, kitchenware, stemware. Like I had all the things I like to cook and have people over and do the whole setup, and it was fun, and all that's gone. Everything. Well, almost everything. I have a room with some things stacked against a wall, and in the guest room closet, I have some things hanging there, and I still need to sort through some of that, and I'll keep a few of those things. So it's been, but even though I'm someone, and some of you can relate, who is really attached to my things, and not the things specifically, but the meaning I assign to them, the amount of effort I put into the work that I did in order to afford them, caused an attachment. Even though that was all true, for me, it's really been a freeing experience. Honestly, it's been a freeing experience to rid myself of all that. Now, at this point, I'm a citizen of two countries and I have legal residency in a third country. That's the kind of flexibility and freedom this digital nomad lifestyle can give you. So, what kind of work do I do now? Well, now I coach digital nomads. I create digital products to support the coaching I do for digital nomads and to help digital nomads take action on their own with information that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. Sort of step-by-step guides and toolkits that you'll need to get set up if you're looking at digital nomad life. And I write articles. I've written online publications. I have written a book, and I invest in the stock market, and the list goes on. So multiple streams of income, which is typical of a lot of digital nomads. The best part though, it's that I'm doing work that I'm passionate about and work that I love doing. I've built a life that lets me work on my own terms, doing what excites me while giving me the freedom to travel and live the life I have always dreamed of. So if you're wondering whether this lifestyle is realistic for you, let me share some stats to reassure you. If you're anything like me, you rely on the numbers, you love numbers. I understand being drawn in by everyone's story, digital nomad story, travel story, expat story, where people are bouncing around the world. They show you the glamorous stuff. They take the fun pictures, all of that. But I'm one of those people who looks at the numbers because it's a huge decision to take a leap of faith and take off into the world. And so I like to look at the numbers. I like to feel the emotions. Those are good things, but I also like to look at the numbers to help me make my decisions. So I want to share some stats with you before I go into the wonderful benefits of being a digital nomad. So bear with me as I get some stats to share with you, okay? All right, so here we go. So the first set of stats is from a site called localize.com. And according to localize.com, 47% of digital nomads fall into the 30 to 39 age group. 30 to 39 age group. And 14% are in their 20s. So 30 to 39, people who are well established in their career, if they have, for example, a corporate career, and 14% of the 20-year-olds, the people in their 20s, relatively young people, but a lot of times people imagine that digital nomads are mainly people in their 20s. And as you can see, that's not true. The rest of us are people over their 40s. So that's still a huge number, because if we take the 50% or so that are between 30 and 39, and we add that 14% that are in their 20s, that's only 64%. So if you're feeling like you're too young, you can see that you're not. If you're feeling like you're too old, you can see that you're not, because the rest of us are over 40. So if you think you're too old or young, think again. There's no right age to becoming a digital nomad. There's no right age to that. It's the age that you decide that this is the day, the time, the year that I want to pursue my dream of traveling more, having location freedom, having financial freedom. And oh, let me back up. When I say digital nomad, I know the term is used in a lot of ways. And one of the ways it's used is to include people who are employed by a company and work remotely. And when I use it on my channel, I am strictly referring to people who work remotely, but for themselves, people who've monetized their skill set and they really truly have the freedom of, beyond just location freedom, they have the freedom of choosing what projects they take on, what skill set they want to utilize during what period of time. Like, they have a lot more freedoms than someone who's employed by a company. So when you hear me say digital nomad, know that that's who I'm referring to, because that's who I work with. That's who I help. That's who I provide products for. Black women who are prospects for digital nomad life, Black women who dream of traveling more, dream of having an expat life, Black women who want to monetize their skills and work from anywhere, have location freedom, have financial freedom. And so just know that that's where I'm at. So most digital nomads, by the way, more statistics, are American. And here's one interesting fact. 24% 24% of American digital nomads travel with their children. So I'm someone who travels, solo traveler, bouncing around by myself. I don't have any children. I don't have a spouse. So I'm traveling alone. There are pros and cons to that. But people who have children, I've seen them in the different Facebook groups, and they voice their concerns, and they should, about, having children and traveling. Well, 24% of American digital nomads travel with their children. So that should tell you there are doors that are open for you. It's possible for you. And there are solutions out there for whatever obstacles you think are getting in the way of you moving in that direction with your life. Following your dream of traveling more, being a digital nomad. So you heard that correct. Just 24% are traveling with children. Families are making this lifestyle work, and they're proving that it's not just the single people like me. And let's talk about income. Let's talk about the money. Like, who doesn't want to talk about the money, right? I think this is going to blow your mind, because I know it's a big concern, and it should be a big concern, right? I mean, you need that money to survive. You're going to be in a whole other country. You need to be certain about your money. Well, according to Statista.com, as in statistics, but Statista.com, and go check them out for yourself. Go dig a little deeper in these numbers. They have plenty of data on digital nomad. Go to that specific area of the website. I'll try to remember to link in the description to the area of the website. Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't plan to do that, but I'll include that so that you can reference that as well and start doing some of your own research. But Statista.com shares that 34% of digital nomads, listen to these numbers, 34% of digital nomads earn between 50,000, 50,000, and 100,000 a year. Some of you might make more than that now, and you're like, that's not a lot of money. But guess what? If you are living in a country where the cost of living is half of what you're paying now, you've doubled your income. Mm-hmm. If you're the digital nomad, as I've defined it for you, someone who is working for themselves, with location freedom, that kind of money could take you very far, and you could still have a wonderful standard of living depending on where you live. Okay, so that's 34% are making between 50,000 and 100,000 a year. 35%, so almost the equal number, are making between 100,000, now we're talking six figures, and 250,000 a year. That's $250,000 a year. 35%, that's one in three, are making between 100,000 and 250,000 a year. And 8% are making between 250,000 and guess how much? Guess how much? $1 million annually. 8% are making that. 8%. And then you have that 2%, if you're really ambitious, who are making $1 million, over $1 million or more per year. Now, one thing I will say is I define digital nomad in the way that's commonly, it's used in different ways, but one of the ways that's more commonly used is someone working for themselves and having location freedom. But I don't know if in this data they also included people who are working, who are employed, but I'm sure the numbers are very close for the independent workers. I'll put a link in the description for you to go check that out yourself, and you may be able to find where it separates that data. I bet it does. But I hope that kind of gets you thinking and gets you excited and gets you, stops you from saying no to yourself all the time when you are thinking about pursuing your dreams, because we say no to ourselves long before the world says no to us. When we haven't even looked on our research, when we haven't asked any questions, we haven't looked into anything, we say no to ourselves because we're afraid of failure. Sometimes we're afraid of success. But no matter where you fall on that spectrum with the income, there's plenty of financial opportunity as a digital nomad. Plenty exists. I'm sharing this part of my journey, the part of my journey about when I started, and then these statistics. I'm sharing all that with you, what I do, the things I do in order to try to make more money. I share all that with you because it shows what's possible when you embrace the digital nomad lifestyle. It's not just about having the freedom to work from anywhere. It's about designing a life that aligns with your passions and goals. So whether it's building multiple streams of income, like I like to do, or relocating to a new country, the digital nomad life gives you the flexibility you need to create something really unique to you. And if you're wondering how to get started with your own remote business ideas, I've got this toolkit called the Digital Nomad Money Strategy Toolkit. It's a comprehensive toolkit for everything you need to get going, to figure out what to monetize, how to monetize, even where to get free money to help you kickstart your dream of becoming a digital nomad. It's about 140, 150 pages, something like that. Lots of tools, lots of information, lots of step-by-step instruction to get you started. So that one's available on my website. I'll put a link in the description. I don't remember the exact price right now, but I'll put the link. You can go click on it and check it out. So that one's available. But if you're not ready to make an investment because you're still sort of thinking about it all and just this is new information for you, maybe, you can get free access to my newest mini course. It's called Skills to Cash, and it walks you through a small part of what's in the toolkit, the money strategy toolkit. It walks you through that again for free. It's over 2 weeks, or a little over 2 weeks of emails every couple of days or so, where it walks you step by step through exercises for you to tools and actionable steps and some guidance step by step to help you create your own unique list of income generating remote business ideas. Free mini course available to you. The link is in the description of this video. So go click now, grab this, get the information you need. If you really dream of moving abroad and earning money on your own terms without having to answer to someone else at a company, because you're tired of having bosses, you're tired of working for some corporation, you're tired of hiding your location because you don't really have location freedom, or you have location freedom, but you're still tied to a big business. This is your opportunity to start at least looking into the possibility of you doing it yourself. So just click the link below. And if you're thinking about healthcare and all those things, I discuss that later on here. So just click the link below to join the Skills to Cash mini course and get started with that. And if this is the kind of information you are really wanting to learn more about, you want to make sure you hit subscribe, you want to turn on notifications, because not only does it help the YouTube algorithm show you more content like this, but it's also an easy way to stay updated on my latest videos that can guide you through this whole digital nomad journey. Remember that 34% number I shared with you at the beginning of the video? Yeah, 34% of Americans wanting to move abroad. That's 1 out of 3 of us. You are not alone in that. You're not alone in that. And they want to move abroad, and they said they would if they could afford to. The thing is, they can afford to, they just don't know it yet. Many of them can. That's 1 out of 3. Let's get into it though. Why the digital nomad lifestyle is becoming the new dream for so many. First, there's location freedom. This is a huge one. You can work from literally anywhere with an internet connection, whether that's a cafe or your home, your apartment, or even a beach halfway across the world. I've done it in Thailand. I've done that in Jamaica, in Montego Bay. In Thailand, I did that in Chiang Mai, and I did that in Phuket. And if you've ever felt burned out with all the commuting, you don't have to worry about that. You'll love this. You no more wasted time in the traffic or public transportation. That time you get back to yourself. That time you get to reclaim. That time you get to go get a little massage on your way to work or on your lunch break. That's what I do. You don't have to do all this commuting and in this traffic. I lived in Houston. Man, that traffic is crazy. And by the way, I liked Houston a lot. I still love Houston when I think about it. It may have changed a lot now, but my recollection of my time there is positive. So just to give you an idea of what it looks like in practice in terms of just spending time in the location of your choice. In 2018, I spent a few weeks in Playa del Carmen, Mexico. You've probably been there. I'd wake up early, grab my laptop, and head to a nearby cafe, get something spicy or something sweet, have some coffee, and after a productive morning, I might hit the beach for a swim. Okay, maybe not a swim. I just go on the beach and chill, my laptop tucked away in a bag, because I know all the pictures show digital nomads working on the beach, but one, sometimes it gets windy and the sand gets into everything. But the primary thing for me is the sound of the sea, the sound of the ocean, the sound of the beach is my favorite sound on earth. And if I am sitting and chilling on some beach chair and I'm hearing that constant sound, I start to go to sleep. Like after a while, I have to just go ahead and get up and go find my apartment, my room, whatever, and go to sleep because it makes me drowsy. It lulls me to sleep. So I cannot work sitting on a beach, but I do take a break and go chill on the beach. So you can, but that's the kind of lifestyle you can have as a digital nomad, working from places you enjoy being. I mean, who doesn't want that? You also get full control over the work you do. You can choose the projects you want, the clients you want. You can set the deadlines along with your clients and design your work environment the way you want. Maybe you're someone who likes quiet spaces with candles and background music. That's me. Or perhaps you love hustling. You know, you like the hustle of a lively co-working space. Typically, that's not me. But occasionally, even here back in the States, occasionally I'll go to Starbucks and sit in the corner and do some work. And the background noise kind of helps me focus sometimes when I think it depends on the kind of work I'm doing and what I feel like that day. But most of the time, I like to work either in silence or I like to work with some music and a candle burning. But like I said, when I was in Playa del Carmen, I would just go to a cafe in the mornings when I felt like it, work from that space, much like going to Starbucks here. So it depends on the mood I'm in. But you have the option to do that. Now I want to talk to you about health because I know that is a concern for a lot of people. It's something that's really personal to me. I have autoimmune conditions, and I have ones that really impact my life, that have serious impact on my life. So it's a chronic illness. It's a chronic illness that requires daily medications, regular physician care. So trust me, I know firsthand what managing chronic conditions while traveling and living abroad. I know what it feels like and that it takes extra thought and lots of planning. But here's the thing, it's absolutely possible. In fact, in many ways, it can be even better because in some countries, healthcare is more affordable and the quality of care can be outstanding. It goes far beyond what you see here in the US in quality and efficiency. It's a relief not to have to worry about outrageous healthcare costs like many of us do in the US. And let's talk about the food. There's often higher quality food in other countries. And let me back up because I may not have said this in this video because I like to remind people of this. If you're born and raised in the US and all you've seen is the US, you may not, because people often seem surprised when I tell them this, you may not realize the US is only 4% of the world's population. 4. 96% of the world is out there. You don't want to live a whole life and not know about what's going on in the other 96% of this world because you're locked into these man-made lines, these man-made borders. Someone drew a circle around you and said, do not cross. And you spent your entire life in that circle. You decided, oh, someone, you don't even know who the name of the someone, said, I should stay in this circle, and I think I'll just do that. Think about that 96%. Okay. But there's quality care available to you in some of those other parts of the world. And better food, higher quality food. So you get that without all the extras we find in American food. And those sweet extras, like chemicals and preservatives, can really do a number on our health. So living abroad can support a healthier lifestyle, from better healthcare access to cleaner, healthier food options. When you have the flexibility to manage your schedule, it's easier to fit in things like I'm taking a walk, right? It's easier to fit in all the care you need. So whether that's doctor's visits or just having time to take care of yourself on all the different levels, including your mental health, you're better able to do that when you have that flexibility. And if you choose to live in somewhere that encourages outdoor activities, staying active and maintaining your health, that becomes a part of your daily routine. For example, when I was in Mexico City, Mexico City has numerous outdoor spaces. They have a lot of parks, and those parks come with free Wi-Fi if you want to use that. And the city is very walkable, highly walkable. I enjoy doing my own self-directed walking tours of the various neighborhoods or colonias. It's been an incredibly empowering experience for me to know that I can live this lifestyle and still take care of my health in a way that works for me. If you have a chronic illness or health concern, let me know in the comments. Like, I want to know, how are you managing it? How are you managing it while living and working abroad? Everybody has their own approach. I'm always interested in hearing what other people are doing and how they're making it work. And maybe when we share all this, we're kind of giving each other tips and support that'll help those who are just thinking about it and have those same concerns make better choices, or at least know what's options are available to them. So now let's talk finances, because that's a big one for me. That's what I'm here for. That's how I help. I help people make sure those finances, in terms of funding things themselves through monetizing skills they forgot they had or thought thing can't work for them, and also finding free money. There is free money. So as a digital nomad, you can save a lot of money, first of all, by living in countries that have a lower cost of living. So not every country is in that is going to fit that criteria, but there are countries that do. So no more commuting, buying lunch out every day, or you don't need a professional wardrobe necessarily. You're not restricted to a local salary or their expectations of a local salary. You can set your own rates. You can work with clients from anywhere in the world, so you can increase your earning potential. You can work with clients in the US, in Canada, in Great Britain, places where the economy is different. You can work from any location with clients in other locations. So you also get to choose where you live, which can have a huge impact on your finances. So some of the best places for digital nomads, those places have a lower cost of living. That means you can live better and work less. Who says you got to do a 40-hour work week? Who told you that? Again, with that circle. Who told you got to stay in that circle? get out of the circle. So imagine working fewer hours, but still affording a higher quality of life. That's what's available to you. That's the kind of financial freedom we're talking about, right? We want to get that money and live that life and not have to burn all of our hours in labor. Beyond the practical perks, there are emotional benefits with being a digital nomad, and they're just as important. They're equally important. So, as part of my research, I recently asked a group of expat women what they were most proud of from their time abroad, during their time abroad. And their answers were so inspiring and relatable. So I hope that you find inspiration in their experience. So here I'm going to read their responses word for word. So one woman said, I've gained more patience. She said, customer service is usually a lot slower in other countries. I've learned to slow down and absorb the change of pace around me. Now, for a lot of Americans, that's a little tricky at first because we are used to doing the go, 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 constantly on the go, working two jobs, working one job that's 16 hours a day, 6 days a week. Like we're used to doing that. I said 16 hours a day, 6 days a week, because that used to be me in corporate America. So, but there are other people who can relate to that. And so we're so used to that pace, skipping lunch, eating in our car on the go, doing all the things. You all know what I'm talking about. Don't pretend you don't know what I'm talking about. But we're used to that pace. And again, with the 4%, Americans are 4% of the world. The other 96% of the world, the majority of those people are not doing that. I'm gonna let that marinate. Like, they're not doing that. And for us, when we go to other places, we're losing our minds because we're not used to slowing down, catching our breath, sitting down in a cafe in conversation or in our own company, waiting for that cup of coffee, then sitting and enjoying that cup of coffee slowly, just observing what's happening around us, taking it all in. We're not used to that. We barely notice what's going by us when we're driving down the highway or walking down the street. And so when we go to other countries initially, some of us, many of us, struggle with that. But this woman shared that she gained patience, and she learned her customer service was slower in other countries, but she's learned to slow down and absorb the change of the pace around her. Another woman said that time and peace of mind are worth way more than money and material things. That's what she took away. And listen, my peace of mind is the most precious thing outside of my health for me. Like nobody's going to I'm not letting anyone take that. And if they're trying to take that, we're going to have a really big fight. So I really related to that. And time, both of those things. Because time, one of my pet peeves is someone wasting my time. Even a simple thing is you don't like me, don't sit around me and pretend you do. If you really, really decided you don't like me, I understand getting to know me and you may not be sure, whatever, but if you really decided you don't like me, go ahead and go about your business. I'd rather you do that even if I feel disappointed than you sit around, take up my time. It's an investment I can't get back. And damn it, it's an investment you can't get back. Like, why are you wasting your time? So time and peace of mind are worth way more than money and material things. That's what this lady learned, and I agree with her. If you agree with her, I want you to tell me in the comments. As a matter of fact, whatever of these things that these women said, if you agree with them, go ahead and give me your feedback on that. Tell me you agree, amen, or you just can't see how they could say that, which you better not say that. Okay, so that one really hit home for me because I found the same thing to be true in my life. When you take control of your time and you prioritize what matters most, life just feels rich. You feel wealthy in a whole other way. All right, someone else shared, she said, while working in China, I discovered how courageous, adaptable, and intelligent I was. I think she's saying that because one, it takes a lot of guts to venture off into the world, and she probably sounds like she solo traveled because that's what I do. It requires everything in you, and you prove to yourself how adaptable you are, how smart you are, how capable you are. So those lessons, I'm glad they said it, because if I had just said it, people would be like, yeah, well, you're saying, that's just coming from you. But these are different women. So they're saying it, So there you go. It's not just my experience, not just one other woman's experience, it's all these other women's experiences. And then another woman said that I can communicate with anyone, whether there's a language barrier or not. She said can communicate with anyone, language barrier or not. And that's true. I remember one of my first sort of global trips where I was bouncing around a little bit. And I had to go through China. Another time I had to go through Turkey, like places where I have no understanding of the language. And sometimes there was no English language version. I forget where was I. I was on my way to Italy, I think. So wherever I stopped, one of the airports, I was like looking for the English language translation signs, and it wasn't there. Oh my God. And I figured it out, made my flights, got where I was going. But boy, that took some courage. And it took you had to use your head. You had to really figure things out. And you leave those experiences just becoming aware of how much more amazing you are than you think you are, how much more capable you are than you realize you are. So I get it. So there are like all these personal discoveries you make when you step into a life where you're constantly learning and adapting and growing. And that's what digital nomad life can deliver. So one of the most profound takeaways from this lifestyle for me has been realizing that I am worthy of being seen. And one of the women put it beautifully. She said, I've learned much about myself. Most importantly, that I am worthy of being seen. So I pretty much took her words, but that's what she said. I think a lot of us can relate to that. You show up as yourself. You don't have to show up fitting into, not only did they draw a circle and tell you not to leave, in the US, we're all put in these boxes, right? This is where you fit. This is what you can do. You are this skin color. You can only do this, or it's only okay. You're not black enough, or you're not really black, or you're not, you're too much of something else. Or if you do this, you're not really smart if you do this, or it's just all these boxes that you're locked into. Well, welcome to yourself. Welcome to setting your own rules. Welcome to being seen. Welcome to deciding who you are and then being that. Welcome to removing the veil, removing the mask, uncovering yourself on many levels. That's what you're getting in digital nomad life. You realize how capable you are when you step into new environments and you challenge yourself. So if this lifestyle sounds like something you want to explore, make sure you're hitting subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications, because that way you'll always stay updated with my tips on living your best digital nomad life. And you'll help the algorithm show you more content like this, content that aligns with your dream life, with your goals. The digital nomad life is about creating a life of freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, and a life of flexibility and a life of fulfillment. So from choosing where you live to how you work, it's a lifestyle that really puts me in control of my life and can put you in control of your life. And in my next video, I'll show you how to make money with digital products so you can say goodbye to office life. Say toodaloos, like take that job and shove it. Like I am not going back to sit and be in a cubicle or behind my laptop locked in a cubicle or in an office. I can take my laptop where I want to go, move about, just move about. And so I'm going to tell you how to make money with digital products so you can say goodbye to the life you don't want and say hello to the life you do want. So you don't want to miss that. So make sure you subscribe. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, again, go ahead and hit like. Also, don't forget to check out my free mini course I mentioned. Skills to Cash is what it's called, Skills to Cash. The link is in the video description, along with links to all the other items I mentioned. And I do need to add the Statista and Locale, the other one that I told you about that has the data, so you can go dig into it a little more for yourself, okay? See you on the next video. Thanks again for watching.